The following program is intended for mature audiences.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Yeah! Hold on, I got to send Mike this link. I'm sure you've probably already seen this, but just in case.
Yeah, we had a 94-year-old man staying with us for the week.
At your house?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been fun.
Yeah. And he took to calling me Scoop. It's like, yep.
Was he surprised you weren't wearing a fedora with a press card in it?
He told me I should, and I said,
Oh, look. Crab on Mars.
Uh-huh.
Is it, though?
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of an odd thing to just happen naturally, don't you think?
It would be an odd rock formation.
Very
Did
much
they,
so.
keep taking pictures of it?
Who knows?
To make sure that it didn't move?
Hey, you know what? Speaking of space and stuff, Mike, I started watching Deep Space Nine. I never really sat down and watched it.
That's my favorite Star Trek show.
Oh, my God, yeah. I'm sorry, but it blows all the other ones right out of the water.
Do you guys know the new Battlestar Galactica show?
The one with Edward James Olmos and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know of it. I have not seen it yet, but I want to.
The main writer for Deep Space Nine went on to do that Battlestar Galactica show.
Okay. But yeah, I'm about halfway into season 3, and already I'm like, okay, if this is so much better than the TNG or the original series or Voyager, certainly better than Enterprise.
It's only going to get better when the Dominion becomes a major
We
player.
just had our first run-in with the Dominion at the beginning of season 3.
The Dominion's awesome because the joke among my group of friends regarding the Star Trek and the Dominion is that the Dominion, because Canada's official name as a country is the Dominion of Canada. And so the joke was going to be that in the Star Trek universe, Canadians all went on this exile into space and then founded this galactic superpower called the Dominion. The first contact with the Dominion would be like a ship that's staffed entirely by Mounties.
That would be the greatest thing ever. They should have done that.
It's like this is the Dominion Starship Gretzky.
Oh, I put together.
I've been out of the loop.
I've got a little NFL question thing that I thought might get started some discussion on the National Football League, if you guys want to.
Yeah, sure.
What's up with Chip Kelly being a racist? Has anybody followed any of that?
It's come and gone so many times.
Isn't that just McCoy getting pissed off that he was cut?
No,
or
there was
traded?
a couple other guys that said it, and it's just like, he's not being racist. He's just getting rid of the old players and bringing in guys that he wants to run his system.
He's basically purging the team from the Andy Reid years. There's going to be a large degree of turnover anytime a coach comes in to implement his system, and a lot of NFL players are black, so anytime there's a mass rebuilding process, a lot of black players and a lot of white players are going to lose their jobs.
I was listening to Dan Patrick yesterday or the day before. They were talking about this, and Dan Patrick said that first off, Chip Kelly is very socially awkward. So maybe that's why the black players think he can't relate to them. And then
not scientist guys that doesn't
right. And then all the other, just like Mike said, he's just getting rid of people. He wants his own guys in there. But then I started thinking about it. When he coached at Oregon, he was there when Dennis Dixon was the starting quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be a racist to be an NFL coach. I mean, my God. Could you imagine?
An NFL wide receiver maybe, but not NFL coach.
That shit ain't funny, motherfucker.
That was another thing too that they said on Patrick's show, that the black players were not happy that they kept, what's his name? God, I can't think of his name now. The white guy that, Riley Cooper.
At the same time, though, the Eagles were in a very tough position because that was supposed to be the big story was that Riley Cooper was finally moving up to one of the top 2 receiving slots that season. He was going to be a big part of the Eagles offense, and he comes out and acts like an idiot. So he probably should have lost. I agree. He should have lost his job, but at the same time, the Eagles were probably like, well, fuck, we can't get rid of him because he's at least 30% of our offense.
And then again, maybe Chip Kelly is a racist, and he said, you know what, this Riley Cooper, my kind of guy. Who knows?
I just don't know how you get to be a coach in the NFL as a racist. I just don't see how that would work.
Well, I can see where it works, though, because you have you're like in command and you could have that plantation owner type thing. Like, these are all my property, my players. They should do what I want them to do. Sort of
like
idea.
Donald Sterling.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, but not nearly as vicious, of course. But you know what I mean, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm in control of you. You are my property. You will listen to me. And, and all these NFL coaches are draconian in some form or another. For some of it. I mean, some of them are nicer guys than others.
I don't know. Mark Tretzman couldn't face players without crying.
He had been tainted by the Canadians.
He became too polite.
Can't go in there and be like, hey, so Jay, listen, I need you to play better, eh? You can't be like that. Fuck you, Mark. Oh,
fuck you, Mark. Give me a light.
Okay.
So basically, we softened him up.
Yeah,
and
exactly. You ruined him.
He couldn't deal when he came back to the United States. He couldn't deal with American rudeness.
Right. The first time he went up to Canada and made a kid cry, it's like, oh, I guess I got to pull back.
You guys softened him up too much and completely ruined a perfectly serviceable football coach.
I don't know. He won some great cups of the Alouettes.
To his credit, he never punted on third down. So
send out the kicking team. It's like, coach.
You got to think at least once during the season and all the confusion and all the mayhem that goes on the NFL sideline. At least once he thought about, oh shit, we got to punt. I guarantee you he did at least one time. At least once. He's not there anymore, right? They fired him.
No, he's someone's offensive coordinator.
Good for them. I know how that works out.
Someone. Like, I forget who Trestman went to, but he's still in the NFL, just not obviously as a head coach.
Speaking of the NFL, it starts this weekend. The first preseason
Hall of Fame game.
Who's playing in that this year? Does anybody know?
The Vikings and the Bears.
I tried for so many years. I tried to get into NFL preseason, and I just can't.
Oh my god!
I'll flip to the Hall of Fame game for a minute, just to be like, oh, football. There you are.
Come on, guys, admit it. You're as bad as I am.
It's Steelers Vikings.
It'll be on, and you'll be like, yeah, I only watch a couple minutes. The next thing you know, it's like the third quarter, and you're going, well, let's see if they've got anybody that might make the team.
The thing is, there's really nothing else going on.
Mike's Toronto Blue Jays are absolutely on fire since the trades.
Woo! But there's nothing polarizing in baseball right now. There isn't a big issue to discuss. It's just it's a baseball season. Everything's fine.
Getting into pennant race time.
I've got one bit of sort of baseball news, I guess, to talk about. David Price, after the comments he made after his first game as a Blue Jay.
What'd he say?
He's never been in a more energetic baseball atmosphere than in Rogers Center in Toronto.
Well, when you guys were winning and were one of the great teams back in the early '90s, I mean, that place you were breaking attendance records and all sorts of stuff.
Well, to be fair, he was also tainted by Tampa. Anything.
Well, he played in Detroit though, which is a good baseball town.
Yeah, but
what, 2 seasons?
Yeah,
I do imagine though, just playing in Tampa and just in front of 5 guys for half the season.
You're spending half your time going over to the sample person and getting some free food.
Yeah.
Little Sam's Club joke there, folks.
The Jays game I was at a couple weeks back against the Rays, actually, and I was surprised by how full it was. And this was, of course, before, their big pickups. But usually, in my experience, the only crowds that you are guaranteed to see, big crowds against are Boston or the Yankees. But right. Yeah, a game against the Jays on a Friday afternoon was sold out.
They're exciting to watch. So even if they're not a series contender, you're not going to come out and be stuck with a 2-1 game. You're going to see some runs. I was watching a little bit last night when they were playing the Twins. They were down 3-0 and ran off 9 runs like nothing happened. I was like, Jesus, can these guys hit? They had 3 home runs. And
the pitching's been a problem since Halladay left. For the last couple of seasons, their mentality has sort of been, if we just have mediocre pitching, we can get by with power hitting. And you can go on hot streaks and you can definitely make some noise like that, but it's not sustainable. You do need pitching, and it looks like they finally realized that. And, again, like last week, I'm still kind of hesitant because it's the Blue Jays and it's not unlike them to underwhelm, but I've been impressed. I've been happy.
I'm going to go right ahead and say it. Best uniforms in baseball, Toronto Blue Jays.
I put them up in my top 3.
Yep.
I put them up in my top 3 with probably the Yankees and the A's.
They're definitely solid.
Okay, can we at least agree one of the best, I don't know if you'd call it, I guess it's an upgrade, well, definitely an upgrade from what they were before.
Oh, yeah, no, the black. the Black Jays stuff was terrible. As someone who's been a Blue Jays fan literally almost my entire life, the Black Jays stuff was hard to go through because it's just one of those cases where you see it and you're like, this isn't my team.
I love the hat. I think their hat is the best.
I got a 47 brand version of that because I'm starting to not like authentic hats, but
the new era authentics are terrible.
Yeah.
Ever since they went from being wool to whatever they're made out of now, and they're just not good anymore. I always go with the 3930, the stretch fits. Those seem to be better. How do we get turned on to the baseball thing? Because I was going to ask about the NFL. No,
ask about the NFL. I mean,
away.
I just think that we're all lying if we say we're not looking forward to it coming back.
Of course.
I am looking forward to it, and that's what's infuriating because the NFL should be a league that it's like, no, I want to hate you so much.
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing is, like, I think what we've all realized, and we're not slaves to the ESPN marketing machine, right?
Well, I'm outside of their domain, thankfully.
If you watched ESPN every day, you would be sick.
Yeah, this is true.
And like, I make it a point to just like avoid all this off-season OTA garbage.
You almost have to say for ESPN, shit like Deflategate is a blessing because it's an excuse to talk about the NFL without going through the minutia.
It's also something that they could just run into the ground.
Yeah.
And ESPN's part of the reason that this is a bigger deal than it needs to be.
Let's analyze every bit of Tom Brady's testimony.
The transcript's leaked, so now everyone knows everything that was said, and it's just like, I don't care anymore.
You know who I'm going to blame even more so for this than ESPN is the Dan Patrick Show. It seems like every time I listen to the podcast of that show, the first thing they lead off with is the stupid Deflategate stuff. It's like, oh my God, just give it a rest.
And I'm so pissed off that Balghazi didn't pick up any steam. I really was hoping Balghazi would have been a thing.
Deadspin uses Balghazi.
And you said you had some NFL questions though, Greg. So
if we want to keep talking about it, I thought we'd just kind of do a run through the park real quick and then
let's do a run through the park. We need to get stretch our legs a little bit because we got
warm up, stretch and all that. But
by the way, Warner getting snubbed at the Hall of Fame. Unacceptable.
See, I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm sorry. I just don't.
But your standards, Greg, are impossible. Like, if you ran the Hall of Fame of any sport, there would be like 5 guys.
Nah, probably more like 10, but still. I know, but I mean, even with, setting my ridiculously high standards
This guy's not as good as Wayne Gretzky. What the hell is he doing here?
To be fair to me, my standards are a lot higher for baseball than they are for football. And I think Kurt Warner, I think you can make an argument either way. And as I've said a gazillion times before, if you can do that, then the guy's probably not a Hall of Famer. Like, if you look at him and go, I could go either way on it, then he's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, it's just a sure thing.
I think he'd be a sure thing if he had won that Super Bowl of Arizona.
You think?
Yeah, I think that Super Bowl, because then you've got a Super Bowl, then you've got
if he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ.
Well,
2 teams, two periods of success of 2 different teams, many years apart. I think at that point, then it just pushes them into the sure thing category, whereas with that Super Bowl loss, it's more of a maybe.
Well, let's look at him compared to who he played with in his era, because that's something I like to do when trying to figure this out.
Okay, so obviously
there was Warner. He was from 99 was when he first broke onto the scene, right?
I'd say 99 to, was it 2009 that the Cardinals made it to the Super Bowl?
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking a 10-year span there. So he's playing at the same time. Okay, Brady wasn't until 2001. And then you had Manning, I think when did Peyton Manning come to the Colts?
Manning came 97 or 98.
Okay, so Manning's
I think it was
there.
98.
All right.
Yeah.
So you've got Manning, Brady, Warner, who else?
McNabb.
Brett Favre.
Okay, Favre. Yeah, Warner's better than McNabb, I think, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, guys. I have it from some informed sources that Donovan McNabb is a future Hall of Famer.
Well, I think even by the most ridiculously low standards, you can't make an argument for Donovan McNabb. I'm sorry.
No. I just found it funny that you had one guy arguing in favor of Donovan McNabb and Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart. That was when I thought, I got to get off this train, man.
Cordell Stewart, Hall of Famer.
When I saw that, I almost posted are you guys all seeing this or am I just high or something? Because it was like, this can't be right?
Jeff George. Let's not forget Jeff George.
But okay, so Warner, you know what? Looking at it now, See, Warner had that. He was great with the Rams for a little while. Then he kind of sunk off. And then he came back with the Cardinals. Wow. But then when you compare him to the people he played with, I mean, there's Favre, Manning.
I think that's an interesting case though, because Favre, Manning, and Brady are like all-timers sort of thing. And there is not every Hall of Famer is an all-time great.
I agree.
Guy.
I agree. That's what I'm trying to.
There is that next level, and I think Kurt Warner fits nicely into that next level of a very, very good quarterback.
And he managed to be a Christian without being annoying about it, like Tim Tebow.
I mean, Drew Brees. I think is Kurt Warner better than Drew Brees?
Boy, that's a tough one.
You
think right now when you think of Drew Brees, you think Hall of Famer, but you can't use right now because we don't know what he's going to do down the road.
Is Dan Fouts in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Is Kurt Warner better than Dan Fouts?
No. Dan Fouts was incredible. He was like Marino before Marino.
If you ask my dad, Dan Fouts is like the greatest quarterback who has ever lived, but that's just
I mean, like bias. I said, Dan Fouts is probably the best comparison you could use. He was Dan Marino before Dan Marino became Dan Marino. He was like a really great quarterback that never won a Super Bowl. Put up huge numbers. But Kurt Warner, let's see. Okay, now looking at Pro Football's reference, like their player ranker thing, they have Kurt Warner ranked number 92. Okay, here's an argument I would make in favor of Kurt Warner. If Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame, you almost have to put Kurt Warner in.
Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame because of one thing.
Joe Namath because
he made that guarantee and he was the AFL that beat the NFL in the Super Bowl.
That's not the only reason he's in. I mean, that's a big part of it.
I think that's the reason.
His career stats do not hold up.
But again, you've got to look back at the era he played in. That was back before the NFL eliminated defense. That was back when the cornerbacks and safeties were allowed to just beat hell out of a receiver on his route. So I think Namath was the first quarterback to pass for 4,000 yards, I want to say. He had some good seasons. And his era, I think he's probably deserving. But again, he's the guy you could argue either way on. But like Zach said, Super Bowl III puts him over the top.
They should have put him in as a Los Angeles Ram.
That would have been funny. I'm gonna go ahead and give Warner the thumbs up. I think that maybe he's probably there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Warner, he's right there on that second tier of guys that were really, really good, have the numbers, and you'll always remember who Kurt Warner was.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I don't think you're gonna in 10 years gonna be like, hey, remember Kurt Warner? Who?
Yeah.
No. You'll know he was the guy that started out as like the grocery bag boy.
Played with the Iowa
Barnstormers. Replaced Trent Green and led the greatest show on turf.
He's only played that one season with the Giants. Everybody makes it sound like, even me, like he went to the Giants for 8 years and was terrible, but he played there 1 year.
And he was Eli Manning's he was Eli Manning's Sherpa.
Yeah.
Right.
To bring him into the NFL.
I don't know how much stock you put into quarterback rating, but Warner's overall career quarterback rating is 93.7, which is pretty good.
I put more stack into the regular passing rating, not ESPN's.
That's what this is. This is off ProFootballReference.com. Right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say yeah, because I'm thinking about the era he played in, and really, I got to think he was one of the top 5 quarterbacks of that era, right?
Oh, definitely.
Off the top of my head. Now, there may be guys that I'm not thinking of, but yeah, I think he probably was.
When the Rams were at the height of their powers, the greatest show on turf, and they were running all over the place, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And the resurgence he had with the Cardinals was truly amazing, because everyone thought he was done, and then he comes back and leads a similar Rams-type offense and comes within, a miracle catch in the end zone of winning a Super Bowl.
Yep. If, what's his name? Who was the guy that, James Harrison, that had the 90-some yard touchdown return right at the half? If that doesn't happen, they win that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I think of how they were coming back in the last minutes, and they get, he hit Larry Fitzgerald, in stride on that kind of in route and just split the safeties.
See, Mike, my standards aren't that high. I just gave Kurt Warner the nod. Come on. Who else is going in this year? Because I think I might have issues with a couple of the other people that are going in.
Junior Seau, for sure.
I'm okay with that. Now, there's a guy that you guys don't know named Mick Tingelhoff. He was a center for the Vikings. It's ridiculous that it's taken him this long to get into the Hall of Fame.
Enthrall us with tales of old-timey football.
Well, the only thing I can tell you about him is that he is an offensive lineman that I knew throughout my whole life, so that meant he must be pretty damn good.
Jerome Bettis.
I'm not so sure about Bettis.
All right, so here's the list. There's 8 guys. Junior Seau.
I'm okay with Seau.
Charles Haley. Defensive lineman with the San Francisco 49ers.
A lot of Super Bowl rings, but I don't think of him as like a guy that maybe. He's another one.
I don't have his stats in front of him. Will Shields, who was a guard for the Kansas City Chiefs for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, I think he's probably deserving.
Yeah, it's always hard to judge linemen, but if you've heard of an offensive lineman's name,
right,
you could probably say, yeah, he's probably a Hall of Famer.
Like if you say his name and everybody immediately knows who he is, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, like Willie Roaf.
Yeah, another one.
Jonathan Ogden.
Yep.
Guys like that.
Yep.
Tim Brown.
No.
You don't think Tim Brown's a Hall of Famer?
I do not. No. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Give me your case.
I don't think he was, okay, again, looking at the era he played in, there were a lot of guys that were better than he is that aren't in the Hall of Fame. Marvin Harrison.
Harrison's a lock. He's going to get there.
Did Andre Reed ever find his way in, or is he still sitting on the outside looking in?
He got in, was it last year?
Oh, did he?
Last year or 2 years ago?
I think Brown is he's like a guy that if you had a Hall of the really good, he'd be in it, but I just never saw him as like a dominant wide receiver in the NFL. He was pretty good, had some all-pro seasons and all that, but I'm sorry, I don't think he's there. That's just me. Who else?
Ron Wolf.
The general manager guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
the general
that.
manager guy.
I mean, the picture I have here on the Pro Football Hall of Fame's website is him in a polo with a sweater tied around his neck. Like the ultimate rich white guy look. Mick Tinglehoff.
He's a guy that, if you were around back in the era he played in, he's a guy like Ogden or whoever else we brought up. Right away off the top of your head, yeah. So he's definitely
center for the Minnesota Vikings in the 70s.
One of the greats.
Bill Polian.
Okay, I can live with that.
He made some great teams with the Coles. I know that for sure.
Wasn't he part of those Bills teams too, or am I thinking of somebody else?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. And Jerome Bettis, like I already said, the bus.
I know. What do you guys think about Bettis?
Jerome Bettis got in because they won that Super Bowl in Detroit his final year.
You think that's what it is? Because I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
They won it in his hometown.
Yeah.
I think Jerome Bettis was good. Is he Hall of Fame worthy though?
I don't think so.
He's definitely one of those guys that's on the border where, like, if he never was a Hall of Famer, I don't think anybody would cry about it.
No, I don't think so
but
either.
But if you put him in, nobody's going to make a whole mess of it either. When it comes to Hall of Fame, yes, everyone knows who Jerome Bettis was. Whether it's from his time at Notre Dame to all those years with the Steelers to, the big hurrah of his last season.
Well, see, that's another thing. Somebody brought this up on the boards. Is it the NFL Hall of Fame or the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Pro football.
Then don't you think that there's like some players, like Canadian players or something, that might deserve a look here and there? I
think it's the American Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I think we're gonna make a delineation there. Like, Warren Moon's in, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When they inducted him, did they mention his CFL stats?
I don't know, honestly.
Is Doug Flutie in?
No, and he shouldn't be.
Well, come on.
For his NFL career, no, of course not. But, I mean, if you add in the Grey Cups.
Flutie Flakes, come on, man.
I mean, he was the San Diego Chargers quarterback of record of my youth.
I'm looking at these are the 2015 semifinalists. These are the guys, all the players. Okay, Morton Anderson, kicker. You guys know who he is, right?
He's the guy with the one bar in his face mask that still played until like he was 45.
Right. Steve Atwater, safety for the Broncos back in their heyday. I think he should be in. Bettis, I'm not so sure about. Isaac Bruce. I think Isaac Bruce is a better receiver than Tim Brown was.
I think Isaac Bruce, yeah, I could live with him as a Hall of Famer.
He didn't make it.
Right.
Don Corleone, coach of your beloved Chargers, Mike.
Pardon? Don Corleone, yeah.
Don Corleone. Roger Craig, running back of the 49ers. There's a guy I think should have been in a long time ago. Terrell Davis, I'm not so sure about. Kevin Green, Haley, Marvin Harrison, he'll get in next year.
He'll get in for sure.
Joe Jacoby, there's another lineman for the Washington Redskins, or the team from Washington, I should say. He should be in. Edgerrin James. What do you think about him, Zach? He's one of your Colts.
The Edge.
I gotta say no.
I'm saying no to him too, yeah.
No, he had a lot of really good years, but Hall of Fame?
Nah.
It seemed to me like he was never anything special. He was just a serviceable running back, which is all you really needed when you had Peyton Manning.
And he wasn't even the running back when the Colts won the Super Bowl. That was Joseph Adai.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, Edgerrin James had moved on to, where did he go? Arizona from there, I think?
Arizona, yeah.
A lot of running backs' careers go to die in Arizona. Have you noticed that?
Hey, Emmitt Smith had a great career.
That was so weird, seeing Emmitt Smith in a Cardinals uniform.
Let's see, John Lynch, free safety for the Bucks and the Broncos. You can make a case.
Maybe.
Carl Mecklenburg? I don't know. I mean, he was famous back when he played, but I don't know. Orlando Pace, I think, should definitely be in.
Yes.
Will
He's
Shields.
another one of those linemen that you know his name.
Right, exactly. Kurt Warner. There's a couple guys that I think should have gotten in that didn't, but you never know what'll happen next year.
Well, and then you never know I don't know who's eligible next year. You know, that always throws a wrench into it. Like some of these guys keep getting their can like kicked down the road a little bit.
Yep.
Because a new class comes in, and like I think it was last year when it's like Strahan's in, and they finally give Andre Reed a shot, and Aeneas Williams is in there, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you got to give those guys their due. They're gonna get in.
Yeah, Aeneas Williams was just a great defensive player.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with Kurt Warner. I'll give him the nod. So just to show that my standards aren't as ridiculously high as people think they are.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because it's completely subjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's very difficult.
There isn't like a qualification set that the NFL puts out. If you're a receiver, you need to have played at least 5 seasons.
Yeah, it's not like baseball with 3,000 hits is pretty much a guarantee, 500 home runs, that type of thing. Right. There isn't anything like that in the NFL.
The game has constantly evolved to a place where 4,000 yards today isn't the same as Joe Namath throwing 4,000 yards.
Right. There used to be a time when there was a reason that you had a defense on the field, except for just decoration, like it is now.
I mean, there are some players now, like J.J. Watt, Hall of Famer.
Oh, definitely. Right now,
if he retired today, I would give him the Hall of Fame.
Right, exactly.
The guy is single-handedly carrying the Texans.
He's going to play quarterback for the Texans this year.
Yeah,
I hope so. I really
They gave
do.
up on Brian Hoyer and Ryan Mallett, and they're just going to have J.J. Watt play.
Wait, is that where Brian Hoyer landed? Was the Texans?
Yeah.
Oh, those poor bastards.
Right, I know, because I was looking through my Instagram today, and the NFL put up a promo picture for Hard Knocks, because they're doing it with the Texans this year.
Yeah.
They're like, who will win the quarterback battle, Brian Hoyer or Ryan Mallett? And a lot of the comments were J.J. Watt. or neither.
I don't know, man. Like, congratulations, Houston. You got the guy who lost a quarterback battle to Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's lost the battle as much as someone gave Johnny Manziel the battle.
I still contend that Johnny Manziel at least deserved the shot he got last season because Brian Hoyer, he started off hot, but then it fell apart quickly.
That team is such a disaster.
I mean, now the Browns get to choose between Josh McCown and Johnny Manziel.
There was a thing.
There's another McCown that keep popping up.
Zeppo
McCown, yeah. I just saw it a second ago. Mike Pettin has some backhanded praise for Josh McCown.
Oh.
He says, here's Mike Pettin. He's so young if you look at his game logs, Pettin said. That's why I made the joke the other day. He's like that car that has low mileage, kept in the garage and driven to church on Sundays by a little old lady. He's got a lot left. There's a reason he hasn't played a lot. Come on.
Mike Pettin just sounds like an asshole. Just everything I've gathered.
This team is such a disaster. Oh my God.
Everything I've gathered about Mike Pettin is that he's just an asshole.
The whole team is an asshole.
Yes.
Let's be fair.
You know, we talk about like, when we get to like NHL expansion talk, or we talk about the NBA and this and that, we say teams should be contracted. The Browns should be contracted just on principle. Just because.
The team that the NFL had to bring into existence to play Cleveland should now just be taken away.
On principle, for no other reason than that. The NFL's doing fine financially, but on principle, it's like no franchise that is this abysmal should be allowed to exist.
I love being a Cleveland fan. The Factory of Sadness guy who brought up a good point. It is statistically impossible for them to have been this consistently bad. Like you have a few good seasons just by accident.
You would think, right?
Yes.
They just need to be eliminated. If you want to give Cleveland another team, great. Put together a new expansion team, give them another shot. Don't call it the Browns.
Are you saying that the name is now forever tainted?
Yeah. Just remove this team from existence and start over again. Roger Goodell should do the one smart thing left that he can do and just step to the podium tomorrow and go, you know what? We're eliminating the Cleveland Browns just because it needs to be done. And that's that. Oh my
I can't wait to see how much longer the quarterback jersey is going to become.
Well, you're going to have to probably put McCown on it, right? I thought they already had a McCown once. Didn't they have one of the other ones?
They did. They had the other McCown. They had the other McCown.
So we're just Zeppo short of completing the trifecta, basically.
Yeah,
then, right?
yeah. They're just moving on to another McCown.
Here's the big twist of the NFL storyline this season. Cleveland moves to LA.
Oh, that would be hysterical, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like, we're going to get all these great teams. This is going to be great. We've announced a move to Los Angeles. Who is it? Who's going to be our football team? The Browns. Oh.
That would be the first time in history that a city got an NFL team and said, no thanks. Keep them.
We'll give you the Browns.
Nah, that's all right. We're good. Thanks.
We'll go another 20 years if that's our choice.
what's up with Patrick Kane? Let's talk about that for a second, because right now it's very sketchy. There's not a whole lot of information. But I have one question. You're Patrick Kane. You're a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Is there ever a need for you to force yourself upon a woman, if that's in fact what he allegedly did?
Well, the problem is Patrick Kane also has a reputation of being drunk in public.
And being drunk at sorority houses.
Well, that's never...
And being drunk and violent. So, like, when it was nice that this sort of stuff had kind of gone away and that he had looked to be turning himself around, because he's a guy that could be the face of American hockey. You know, he's the best American player.
And in maybe some ways he is.
Oh, that's cold-blooded, man.
You guys got Jack Eichel, so I'm not too...
Yeah. But to see this kind of comes up, it's disappointing, but not surprising.
Not surprising, because I don't know that much about him, so I was disappointed.
His history is basically this. Maybe 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. It was in 2009. He got arrested for punching a cab driver in a dispute
over 10 cents.
20 cents of change.
Oh, 20, okay.
When this is a guy making millions of dollars every year, and he wanted his 20 cents back from the cabbie, didn't get it, or wasn't going to pay it or something, and punched the cab driver.
And then didn't they have to get his cousin to take the fall for him?
Something like that.
Wow.
He was indicted on assault, theft, and harassment, but pleaded down to disorderly conduct. In 2012, Kane was accused by multiple witnesses of attempting to choke a woman at a frat party in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, jeez.
And I think a year after that, or maybe the year before that, there were pictures of him basically sitting at a bar, passed out drunk in Madison.
Yeah.
Who knew Madison was such a fun place to be?
Did he play hockey at Wisconsin or something? Is that no?
No, it's just close by to Chicago. You know,
okay,
relatively, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So now the reports are that he's in the middle, or is the subject of a rape investigation.
Oh,
now,
boy.
I've got an earlier Patrick Kane anecdote actually for you. Now, this is secondhand. I wasn't there, so take this with a grain of salt. But Patrick Kane played his junior hockey in London, Ontario for the London Knights.
Okay.
I went to university at London at Western Ontario, and one of my friends from university who grew up in London said that he once ran into Patrick Kane at a bar, who was going around telling everyone, "Hi, I'm Patrick Kane. I play for the Knights. I'm sort of a big deal."
Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't ever play the Who Am I card, and you certainly don't do it for no reason.
Yeah.
Or do you know who I am card? I'm sorry.
It's also important to remember he hasn't been charged or arrested with anything yet.
Right.
He's just the subject or the target of the investigation currently.
I guess I'm just still in that naive.
Doesn't make it any better necessarily, but
I'm just still in that naive phase where I'm just like hockey. You know, the nicest thing about it is that you never hear this kind of stuff happening in hockey.
Yeah, but you don't hear it from the good Canadian players. You got to find some punk from the United States.
Right. It has been a badge of honor for the league to not have to deal with this sort of thing.
Right.
But then you get things like what happened with Ryan O'Reilly a couple of weeks ago, and now Patrick Kane. You had stuff with Evander Kane like the year before. It's not a good look.
Not so much.
Evander Kane's I'm a jackass in Vegas photo.
Yeah, well, that. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
And of course, Jarrett Stoll with the cocaine. Let's not forget.
Oh yeah.
And Mike Richards and Slava Voinov.
With his Oxycontin.
Yeah, I mean, the NHL's catching up to the NFL in terms of domestic violence, drugs, and rape.
I don't want to hear that. The NHL's like my teddy bear on the shelf. It never bothers anybody. Just nice, fun, clean little game. I don't want to know about all this stuff.
Let's see how Gary Bettman responds to all of this with Patrick Kane. We'll see if he saw any. We'll see if he saw the videotaper.
The other part of this story that's interesting. Supposedly, this was was Patrick Kane's weekend with the cup that this happened.
Oh no!
So, hey, you like my cup?
I'm just imagining Patrick Kane taking it to like some university bar and trying to pick up girls with the Stanley Cup.
Here's the other interesting question to ask. The NHL suspended Slava Voinov indefinitely for his domestic violence last year.
Yes.
And the Kings terminated Mike Richards' contract just for being investigated at the border. Remember, he wasn't arrested for anything. Now, Patrick Kane, like I mentioned, is one of the stars in the game right now.
Right.
Plays for a 3-time Stanley Cup champ. And if he's arrested for rape. I mean, even just being investigated, does he get suspended?
Well, are you asking the question, is it different because it's Patrick Kane? Is it going to be different, like, say, more lenient?
Because he's Patrick Kane?
Yeah, I think it will be. It's shown that's shown to be the case in every sport.
But I mean, in terms of, will he get the same punishment as other players have got?
No, he
Because
won't.
he is Patrick Kane.
No,
He won't. He won't. And the NHL has a history of this. The NHL, you can almost get away with murder on the ice if you're a quote unquote big star. Like that's an exaggeration, but you can. The NHL has always been a league where you can get away with stuff other players can't if you're a big enough name.
I think that's the case in any sport.
And obviously, if he's arrested or if charges are brought against him, I think at that point the league or the team, they need to do something.
At that point, he needs to be at least put on indefinite suspension until the charges are resolved.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, but ideally, again, like Mike Richards was dealt with just, not even being arrested, not even having charges officially filed against him. There needs to be something done to Patrick Kane, if for no other reason than being in the situation where this could have happened. Like, it's one of those things where, for the good of the league, you shouldn't be in a position where you could potentially be charged with rape. You shouldn't be in that situation at all. So there needs to be something done, but I don't see them doing anything about it until they're absolutely forced to.
But then again, with the NFL and all the stuff that happened last season with the NFL, maybe you can't get away with that from a PR standpoint anymore. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think the NHL, though, is popular enough to really...
How would the fan base react?
I think it's kind of similar to what you already said, Greg. The NHL has always been that kind of bastion of good behavior. That kind of stronghold of, no, everything's right. So when somebody does do something and puts a bad light on the league, because we know, and hockey fans are kind of defensive as it is already. So if somebody's making us look bad as like a hockey community, people are going to turn on them. This will follow them around.
Hockey fans in general, and this isn't by a team or nationality thing, it's just kind of all of us as one big family. As a general rule, hockey fans tend to be a bit snobbish, I guess, or morally righteous. I'd like to think that would come into play on, the side of the right thing to do. It's like, right. He did something bad, we can't support this guy. But there's always the chance that, they double down. Just go to HF boards and you see you see a lot of idiocy that doesn't exactly make you feel good about hockey fandom.
Right.
Yeah, but I think of HF boards as like the little kids' table at Thanksgiving dinner. Like you stick them all over there where they won't bother anybody.
We try to just leave HF boards over on its own special
exactly.
island.
They're like your slow cousin or your drunk uncle or whatever. You're just like, okay, yeah, fine. Stay over there.
So the Cleveland fans to Ohio sports in general?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, it's those guys. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much. Exact same idea, yeah.
Is this mostly just to check that, NFL's coming up, so this is kind of a refresher? Like, these are things in football. Do you remember all the teams?
Well, yeah. And the recently...
Quick, name a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Blake Bortles.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Does Maurice Jones-Drew still play for him?
I'm on the NFL's website, okay?
Okay.
All right, so what we'll do is I'm going to start. The Buffalo Bills are listed first, so I'll start with that. Name one Buffalo Bill.
LaShawn McCoy.
Mike?
I'm blanking on their quarterback.
Oh, me too. I know who it is, too.
I know who it is. Who is it? God damn it.
He was the guy,
Matt Castle.
No.
No, he was traded to Minnesota. Right?
No, the kid, the kid from,
was it EJ Manuel?
That's it, EJ Manuel. There you go.
Is he going to be the starter?
I don't know.
Because Kyle Orton was the starter last year, and then he left.
It doesn't matter. He's on the roster, so he counts. What's his name? The defensive player, played for the Texans.
Oh, Mario Williams.
Mario Williams. There you go. Okay. Ready? Name one Miami Dolphin. Ryan Tannehill. Okay.
Ryan Tannehill.
All right, so we all get that.
Who's that? Is Mike Williams still there, or did he leave?
How about Brian Hartline, former Ohio State Buckeye?
Right, there you go, Brian Hartline.
All right. We're not even going to bother with the case.
Jason Taylor? Is he still playing?
No, I think he retired about 10 years ago.
Ricky Williams.
Zach Thomas.
Jay Fielder.
Wow, Mike, nice.
Fielder.
Mike pulling one out there. That's pretty good, yeah. Any Patriot besides Tom Brady?
Oh, Gronk.
Okay,
Gronkowski,
Gronk, yeah, that's a good one. All right, here we go. This ought to be fun. Name a New York Jet.
Geno Smith.
I'm going to go with Darrell Revis.
Is Darrell
right.
Revis?
Yes.
He signed back there.
Signed back there, yeah.
On a cap.
I have, outside of those two, I have no idea.
Okay. So right now, Zach and Greg lead. Mike's down by 1. Name a Baltimore Raven besides Joe Flacco. Oh, no.
Besides Joe Flacco?
No, we'll allow Joe Flacco. Okay, Flacco counts. Go ahead.
Jacoby Jones.
Let me think here.
Is Antoine Baldwin still on them?
No. Yes. No, he went to San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh boy, somebody besides Joe Flacco.
Torrey Smith.
Okay, that's what I was going to go with, the receiver.
The guy who Joe Flacco always chucks deep for.
Right, okay. Here, this ought to be a good one. Name a Cincinnati Bengal.
Oh,
AJ Green.
AJ Green. What the hell's the quarterback's name?
Andy Dalton.
Ginger McCoy.
Andy Dalton.
Ginger McCoy.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Does he play there still?
I believe he does, yes.
There was another running back. I picked him up. Oh, he has like an Italian name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, though.
No, he's a little tiny.
What was that, Mike?
Taco Corleone.
Ray Malaluga.
No, you've got him. Yeah. I don't think that was the running back, but yeah.
I know, but I think he still plays there. Anyway.
Okay, all right, here we go. This is going to really be fun. Name a Cleveland Brown besides Johnny Manziel or one of the McCowns.
One of the McCowns. That was what I was going to say. One of the McCowns.
Is Josh Gordon still suspended?
I thought they cut him.
Oh, did they? Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
right.
sure.
Cleveland Browns. Shit. That one guy Kevin Costner drafted?
Oh, no, there was a guy on defense I knew. Oh, shoot.
I'm going to take the easy one. Joe Thomas, the offensive lineman.
All right. I thought, didn't he leave?
No, he's still there as far as I know.
You sure?
Yeah. See, this is why we're doing this, to get warmed up again here for the NFL.
Hold on.
Who else on the Browns?
I could swear Joe Thomas left.
Who was that? They have like 13 running backs. Jordan Cameron, the tight end. I'll go with him.
Jordan Cameron and Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
Don't they have both of them?
Oh, God, that'd be great if they did.
I think they had both of them. Wait, hold on. Jordan Cameron. Jordan Cameron's the tight end. And Cameron Jordan. No, he plays for.
That was with the Saints, I was thinking.
Yeah, well, he was drafted by the Saints.
Okay.
Oh, he still plays for the Saints. Okay.
That sucks. If they're on the same team, that just sets up the pro shop jersey display.
I think that would be the greatest thing in the history of the NFL if they both played on the same team. Name a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Ben Roethlisberger. Buck.
Who's the wide receiver?
I'm trying to think of the wide receiver.
Antonio Brown,
right. I was going to go with the running back. Played at Illinois. Rashard Mendenhall. Is he still there?
Polamalu still there?
No. Polamalu finally retired.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No, who was the other running back? He was actually pretty good last year. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Didn't he go to the Patriots? Didn't he leave to go to the Patriots?
Bell?
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
That's it. Did
he go to the Patriots, though, last season?
No, Le'Veon Bell was at Steelers.
That was LeGarrette Blount.
You're thinking of LeGarrette Blount.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Name a Houston Texan.
J.J. Watt. Brian Hoyer.
Ryan Mallett.
I'm going to go with Andre. No, the other wide receiver. You got Andre Johnson. Who's the other one?
Andre Johnson's a Colt now, by the way. So
yeah. So who's the other wide receiver they had? There were two actually pretty good wide receivers. I'm going to go with what's his name? Arian Foster.
Yeah, Arian Foster. That's what I was going to say.
The correct answer, though, is J.J. Watt and a bunch of scrubs.
J.J. Watt and 44 other guys. That's really the right answer.
David Clowney.
Okay, there's another one. That's a good one.
Brian Cushing.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins.
That's who I was trying to think of. Yeah. All right. Zach, this should be too easy for you. Name an Indianapolis Colt.
T.Y. Hilton.
All right. I'm going to go with.
I'll give you guys the easy one. Unless we're going to.
Andrew Luck.
Okay, we'll give Mike
Andre Johnson.
Looks like I just said that.
I'm going to. No, I'm trying to think. There's one of the other wide receivers.
Well, Reggie Wayne is gone.
Okay.
Right.
You know what? I can't do it. Outside of Andrew Luck and Andre Johnson and who was the one you named?
Fleener.
Who? Fleener.
Colby Fleener,
go
Pat
with him.
McAfee's the punter.
All right.
I don't think I can name any of the defensive guys. What's Vontae Davis's brother? Cousin, whatever.
I don't know.
We have a cornerback named Davis.
Yes, folks, we do a football show.
We'll be good in 2 weeks, I swear to God.
This is why we're doing this now.
Let's actually read these things again.
Name a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Blake Bortles, and then Blake Bortles, and I don't know.
Is Cecil Shorts the third still there?
I'm going to go with Denard Robinson. Former Michigan quarterback.
Oh my God!
Is that
Toby Gerhart?
Okay, there you go. That counts. We'll accept that.
Yes.
Name a Tennessee Titan.
Vince Young. Zach Mettenberger.
Okay, I'm going to go with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota.
He was a quarterback. Yeah, Mariota. That's right. Do they have anybody else on that team?
I don't think so. I think they're working on getting the rest of the roster put together. Is he still there?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on from the Titans because I can't think of a single one besides Mariota and Mettenberger.
Nate Washington.
They have to have somebody on that team, right? I mean,
Nate Washington.
I'm sure there are people who fill roster spots.
I'm going to look at their roster real quick and see. There's probably
I just pulled it up too because
there's probably a team that
say it.
Yeah.
After we say a couple, then I look to see who we got. Hakeem Nicks.
Okay.
Bishop Sankey is the running back.
Let's see here. Wow, I'm looking at the roster and none of these names are familiar to me.
Nate Washington,
Oh yeah, Brian Arakpo.
Right.
Okay.
But he's not famous for being there.
No.
They really have a bunch of no names on this.
Yes, they sure do.
Good luck, Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, have fun with that, dude.
Yeah.
Okay,
man.
here we go. Name a Denver Bronco.
Besides Peyton Manning?
Besides Peyton Manning. I think we all know Peyton Manning.
Demaryius Thomas.
I'll go with the other Thomas.
He left.
Okay, I can't use him then.
Actually, he
quarterback. Who's the quarterback? Not quarterback. A receiver. White guy that got from the Patriots.
Oh, Wes Welker.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get that. We'll accept Wes Welker. Yes.
Yep.
Now it's gonna be. Go ahead.
Julius Thomas, by the way, Greg.
Yeah.
Is a Jaguar.
Well, now they have someone. Blake Bortles finally has that weapon he was looking for.
Yeah, that was the one missing piece.
Right.
Von Miller.
Oh, Von Miller. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Marcus Ware.
Okay.
Brock Osweiler.
Oh, of course, the immortal Brock Osweiler. This one might be tough. Name a Kansas City Chief.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
Okay.
Eric Berry.
Oh, that's a good one. Eric Berry.
Who's recovering from
Tennessee Volunteer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Recovering from cancer.
Let's see here. They just picked up someone, pretty big name at wide receiver. Who was it?
They got rid of Dwayne Bowe finally, didn't they?
Don't they have somebody on defense? Oh, the running back. Jamal Charles. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now it's really going to get fun. Name an Oakland Raider.
Oh.
Schwab's brother.
Derek Carr.
Okay.
Oh no, that's Carr's. Yeah, I always get Carr and Schwab mixed
We'll
up.
accept those. I'm going to go with staying in the Big Ten, Terrell Pryor.
That's right. He's going to be a tight end now.
Really?
Yeah.
That might actually work out pretty good.
I don't know if he's going to be a tight end, but I know he said he's going to be something else. It's either running back or tight end.
With his size and speed, he'd make a good wide receiver.
Oh, you know who they drafted? Amari Cooper.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Wide receiver from Alabama. Hell, guess who's an Oakland Raider? Trent Richardson.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Jeez.
Charles Woodson still playing?
Really?
They have him listed on
He's like 48 years old.
That's what I thought.
All right, name a San Diego Charger. This will wrap up the AFC, by the way.
Antonio Gates.
Good call. I'll go with Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Manti Te'o.
There you go. All right.
Oh, God.
We were 3 for 3. All
He's
right.
your starting middle linebacker, Mike. Enjoy him.
Moving on to
By the way,
go ahead.
according to this, I was wrong about Jacoby Jones on the Ravens, by the way.
Oh, okay.
He's now a Charger.
We'll transfer him to the Chargers, and we'll count it anyway. On to the National Football Conference. Name a Dallas Cowboy.
Tony Romo.
Des Bryant.
DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray is now a Philadelphia Eagle.
That's right.
Yes.
But Chip Kelly, it's Black
Jason Witten.
Okay, there we go. See, we're starting to get our game back a little bit here. It took us about 15, 16 teams. We're getting there.
Who else is on that team?
They had some good defensive players.
Sean Lee.
Okay, let's move on. The New York Football Giants.
Eli Manning?
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay. Yeah.
Think of the guy who blew off his hand.
Jesus, the defensive guy, right?
APP.
Oh, Pierre Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Victor Cruz,
yeah.
Shane Vereen is now the running back.
Wow.
That'll be
That should be interesting.
One of my favorite names in football at corner, Prince Amukamura.
Name a Philadelphia Eagle. And I just made it real easy.
Tim Tebow.
Mark Sanchez. And who's the other quarterback?
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford. There you go. All right.
They got the triumvirate there.
Yeah. Matt Barkley.
Man, if they can't win a Super Bowl with that quarterbacking crew, no one can. The Washington National Football League team.
RG3.
Keith Cousins?
Kirk Cousins. That was my guess, too.
Well, I have a friend named Keith Cousins. So Kirk Cousins, you're right.
The running back. Good running back. Got a real easy. Alfred Morris. Yeah, we'll go with him.
Sean Jackson. Pierre Garçon.
I was trying to think that one guy with the French name.
Do you know who their third string quarterback is, Greg?
No.
Colt McCoy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Still hanging around. The most Texas name to ever quarterback Texas.
Yes.
I wish Colt McCoy was better than he is because it's the perfect quarterback name.
Oh, it's yeah. He should be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
Like if you made a movie about Dallas Cowboys but had to use fictional characters, you name the quarterback Colt McCoy.
It was so perfect that he was the Texas Longhorn quarterback. You could just hear in a Texas accent, "Damn it, Colt McCoy! Don't you know this football is your life? I don't want your life." Anyway.
Nice little Varsity Blues reference there.
Yeah, I really like that movie, but everyone knows that line.
Apparently, the University of Toronto got royalties for that.
I want to know why, of all the high school parties I ever went to, there was never a girl that was covered with whipped cream like that. Yeah, never once in my life did that happen to me. Never once.
That's because you went to high school in Ohio, where it's boring.
I guess. Yeah.
I had to go to high school in Texas, I guess.
Well, don't you think though in Ohio, because it's so boring that girls will be like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to put whipped cream on and see what happens. I'm just saying.
Well, I finally started watching Varsity Blues last night, or not Varsity Blues. What am I talking about?
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, the series, not the movie.
You never seen it before?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I think I'm 4 episodes in. It's fine. It's so telegraphed.
Yeah.
Like the first episode, I'm like 5 minutes in, oh, the starting quarterback, he's getting recruited by Notre Dame. Everything's going great. Oh, he's going to get injured in the first game, isn't he? And the backup's going to come in with a miracle comeback, right?
Matt Saracen, baby.
Matt Saracen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably name more.
Everybody's going to hate him. And they bring in the transfer from Louisiana.
I could probably name more. What's the name of the team? I can't remember the team.
Dylan Panthers.
I could probably name more Dylan Panthers than I can NFL players at this point.
Tim Riggins,
yeah.
Smash Williams.
Yeah.
Street was the starter that got injured.
Jason Street, yep.
Yeah. Matt Saracen. Mickey Kelly.
Chicago Bears.
Jay Cutler.
Isn't what's his bucket? Used to play for the Vikings, defensive end, Jared Allen.
Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah. Let me think here. Do I know any other? Brandon Marshall's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's their running back? Matt Forte. We'll go with him.
Matt Forte. Lance Briggs, still linebacker.
All righty. Name a Detroit Lion.
Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
What was
Domikong Sue.
Not anymore.
What?
It's Miami.
That's
Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford.
Oh, right. Matthew Stafford.
No, Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. No. Who's the other guy on their D-line was from Auburn?
Oh, Fairley?
Nick Fairley.
Yeah,
there you
Nick
go.
Fairley. There you go. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Where are we here? Name a Green Bay Packer.
Besides Aaron Rodgers?
If you can, yeah.
Clay Matthews?
Okay. Mike, you got one?
Oh, I've got their big receiver on the tip of my tongue.
Jordy.
I can't think.
Jordy Nelson.
Nelson. Okay.
I'll go with Randall Tex Cobb.
Randall, don't call me Reggie Cobb.
Right. Or is it Reggie, don't call me Randall?
I don't know. Damn you, Bill Simmons. Randall Cobb. I don't know. God.
All right. Name a Minnesota Viking. This should be easy. We talked about him a ton last year.
Matt Castle?
Okay, we'll take him. Who was yours, Zach?
Adrian Peterson.
And I'll take Teddy Bridgewater for the win.
Is Peterson still on the team?
As far as I know, yeah. I think he wanted to be traded or something, but they wouldn't do it.
Well, yeah. Would you trade the best running back in the league?
No.
Even if he is a child whipper?
Right. Name an Atlanta Falcon.
Matt Ryan.
Julio Jones.
Is Jonathan Abraham still there?
I don't know.
Roddy White.
I think he's still there. We'll count it.
Yeah.
If he's not there, I'm sure we'll hear about it. Someone will correct us. Name a Carolina Panther.
Cam Newton.
Greg Hardy's not there anymore. Oh, Luke Kuechly.
Kuechly, right. Okay. And I will take Ted Ginn Jr., another Ohio State Buckeye.
Oh, yeah, of course. You gotta support your Buckeyes.
Is he still there?
No.
Okay. I was going to say for the sake of argument, he's still there, but I don't think he is.
I don't think so.
I think he's with the 49ers, isn't he?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. I can't name. Let me think here. There's got to be one more. Stewart, the running back.
Greg Olson.
All right. You ready? Name a New Orleans Saint.
Drew Brees.
Jimmy Graham got traded to Seattle.
Yes.
Robert Meacham?
I'm going to go with Marcus Colston.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
I think he's still there. Who's their running back?
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram, that's right, yeah. Name a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Jamius Crablegs Winston.
Okay. Zeppo McCown.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, damn.
Is Glennon still there?
I don't know. That's a good question. They had a wide receiver, good wide receiver.
Mike Williams.
Vincent Jackson.
Yeah, one of those two, right?
No, it was Mike Williams, the guy from.
Yeah, but there's
they also had Vincent Jackson. I don't know if he's still there, but he was
I think
there.
I think he is.
The guy from Texas A&M.
Right, that's what I'm trying to think of.
It's Mike Williams.
No, that's not it. Mike Evans. Mike Evans is his name. Yeah,
it was Mike something.
Right. Name a Arizona Cardinal.
Fitzgerald.
Kurt Warner.
Carson Palmer.
Emmitt Smith. Carson Palmer, that's a good one.
No. The correct answer is the dilapidated corpse of Carson Palmer.
Right. Let me think here. You got Fitzgerald, right? Who was the guy? He's a good defensive player. Peterson.
Patrick Peterson.
Patrick Peterson. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. You also have the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Right.
John Brown is a receiver. Andre Ellington's the running back.
Yeah, he's good. I
can name all the other failed quarterbacks they're going to have to start when Carson Palmer blows out his knee again.
Okay, let's see what they have to deal with here because that's what's going to happen.
Drew Stanton.
Yes.
Still there.
Another one of our irrational confidence Michigan State quarterbacks.
Logan Thomas.
Oh, yes.
Ryan Lindley.
These are names that Chandler Harnish.
Oh, and don't forget Calais Campbell.
Okay.
On defense.
Name a St. Louis, soon-to-be Los Angeles Ram.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, huh? I'm going to go with, what's his name? The kid from Trayvon Martin from West Virginia.
Tavon Austin?
Tavon, what did I say? Trayvon Martin. That was the kid that got killed or something. Oops.
Oh, Chris Long.
I don't know any Rams.
Robert Quinn. Zach Stacy.
Okay, Zach Stacy. That's a good one. Name
James Laurinaitis.
Yes, another former Ohio State Buckeye. And Mike, somebody that used to be in, his dad used to be in WWE wrestling.
Yeah.
Johnny Ace.
Name a San Francisco 49er.
Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Antoine Bolden. Michael Crabtree.
Vernon Davis.
Who?
Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis. Is Frank Gore still the running back there?
No, he's an Indianapolis Colt.
Okay.
The running back is now Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde from the Buckeyes, yeah.
And Reggie Bush.
Contact the judges. Remove Reggie Bush from the Detroit Lions scorekeeping, please. And finally, name a Seattle Seahawk.
These are easy.
Russell Wilson and his God talked to me after I threw the Super Bowl away.
Well, you know who told him to re-sign for all that money in Seattle, right?
God.
Yes.
God told him to do that?
He needed God to tell him to take the ungodly amounts of money they were giving him.
If you need God to say, hey, you know what, you might want to sign this $21 million deal, you are dumber than fuck. It's as simple as that. You are so fuck all stupid that there's no hope for you.
He also said that God was talking to him after he lost the Super Bowl.
And what did God have to say? Should have ran
Dumbass.
the ball?
No, apparently he was like, I'm using you. I'm using you so they can see how you're reacting or something. It was so stupid.
No way.
Yeah.
Like I needed another reason to hate Russell Wilson.
Uh-huh. That's
wow.
Yeah. It would have been hilarious if he was like, God talked to me. What did he say? Well, he told me he was very disappointed in that play call.
He said, you fucking idiots. Why you had Marshawn Lynch? Why did you throw?
Marshawn, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Lynch.
Richard Sherman. Who's the other good cornerback?
You're thinking of
You're talking about WWE wrestlers. Richard Sherman, he could be one.
Yeah, he could. What's his name? His name Butler? Is that it? No.
Jimmy Butler.
No, who am I thinking?
He's the guy who's
it's Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas. Cam Chancellor's holding out for more money.
That he won't get because they gave it all to Russell Wilson.
They traded for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
Remember?
So I need to ask you guys about Russell Wilson.
What about him?
Is he good enough to warrant $21 million?
He's performed good enough to warrant that money.
Because to me, he doesn't seem like he's...
No, of course not. But the problem is, it's a Joe Flacco problem.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
you can't really afford not to pay him.
Well,
right.
The way I would look at it is like this.
He's been a Super Bowl. And, I mean, with Russell Wilson, he's been in the league, 3 years?
Yeah.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them, was a yard away and a dumb play call away from winning a second one.
My thing with him would be, of what is available, who's better?
I don't know. I'm sure you could get one of the McCowns.
Well, yeah, Zeppo. I can't believe Zeppo's not on a team. That just blows my mind.
Everybody that's better than him is
locked up.
Elite quarterback that's signed. Yeah,
I don't know.
You're not going to get Aaron Rodgers.
No,
they could get Phillip Rivers. I mean, he might not. He said he doesn't want to play in Los Angeles.
But is Phillip Rivers better than Russell
Wilson?
Yeah,
he's not as bad as his detractors would make him out to be.
But Phillip Rivers has got a great deal of talent. His problem is his attitude.
Phillip Rivers is good. He just hasn't won anything. And the problem with Russell Wilson is he may not be the most elite guy, but he does that. He's the most annoying of just enough.
Right.
Like every time you watch him, he's just about to get tackled. He just gets the ball over somebody's hands. He just gets the ball into the window. But he consistently does it and he wins games.
I can't believe I'm about to relive this, but I'm going to. Look at how poorly he played in the NFC Championship game last year until the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, just enough. My God, that fucking extra point play where they were like, what a great play that was, where he threw that freaking lollipop and that guy just happened to be standing there. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, is he worth it, Mike? I don't know. I mean, compared to what they have available, probably. I don't know if I'm willing to let him go with a team that's still pretty good like that. I think maybe 2 years down the road, they probably don't sign him for that much money, but right now they kind of have to. That's the way I see it. Speaking of, let's jump off from there. Speaking of the Seahawks, how much does that loss in the Super Bowl affect them last year, do you guys think?
I gotta agree with Keith Olbermann. You gotta blow him up.
I'm with you. I don't think they recover from that.
That's a tough one to come back from.
I think they'll still win the division.
I don't know. Carson Palmer, come on.
I mean, the divisions, they're still the best team in the division. I think that's pretty clear. Maybe the 49ers give them a little run.
No,
maybe
I think the Rams are going to be garbage.
I think if the Cardinals put together any semblance of a passing game, they're the team to beat in that division.
If Carson Palmer's knees stay healthy, they can go.
Maybe, but
the 49ers aren't. The 49ers are going to be hot garbage this season.
I think so too.
That's
actually one of my questions. How bad are they going to be this year?
with Seattle, though, their defense is still going to be just as good, and the offense might be a little bit better with the addition of Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. That gives Russell Wilson one more, oops, fuck, I just accidentally threw the ball to you guy to go to.
He gives him like a talented receiver that can catch the ball.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Graham's not really a tight end anyway.
No.
He's a wide receiver. So I think they're going to win the division still, I think, or at least make the playoffs. Are they going to be? I don't think they're going to win, because the other problem is they've got to. If they're going to win again, they got to do it quickly, because everybody else is going to have to get paid the next time around, and they're not going to afford everybody next time.
We talked about this 2 years ago with this team, and I think we're starting to see it now. They paid Wilson. I think they had to cut a few guys that were reasonably recognizable names on that team to pay Wilson this year, and that's just going to continue as we go down the road.
They paid Wilson. They've already paid Sherman. Cam Chancellor's trying to get more money from him. Marshawn Lynch is probably going to be gone after this season.
Well, this is the problem that we talked about after they won the Super Bowl, that you got to make the most out of this time, because soon, once all these contracts come up for renewal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the whole thing last year between that, Chancellor's holdout, people getting paid. I mean, there were a lot of rumors that people resented Russell Wilson before he had all this money.
Exactly, and the team wasn't exactly the picture of stability back then either. I mean, there was a stretch where people thought they might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, they were kind of imploding, yeah.
They were imploding, and there were rumors that people didn't like Russell Wilson on the team, and and apparently they sorted that all out. And a lot of that kind of anxiety, or a lot of that discord, a lot of that's erased by winning, but they didn't win. In fact, Russell Wilson, depending on how you want to look at it, is the reason they lost. So a lot of those animosities are they're still there.
He's not the reason they lost.
No, he's not the reason they lost, but the ball was in his hand. I'm just saying.
I think,
from a certain perspective, you could.
Like, if you're a guy that you already don't like Russell Wilson and then he throws an interception.
Exactly.
You like him even less now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've never liked Russell Wilson. I think we've established that. I just think he's so fake and manufactured.
Yep.
I hate his persona.
His persona is the same kind of thing as Andrew Luck, but with Andrew Luck, it's genuine.
Right.
Andrew Luck, I love the fact that Andrew Luck, I think he finally took some endorsement deals this year, but his first three years in the league, he didn't do any endorsements or anything. That's great.
Hey, Andrew, want to give you a ton of money? No, I'm okay.
Andrew Luck is still the most boring interview I've ever heard in my life. Hey, Andrew, you looked really great on those touchdown passes. Oh, yeah, but, I couldn't make those passes if it weren't for the offensive line.
I got to give all the credit.
Team effort out there today.
All the credit to my offensive line and to my coaches. I was just there.
All the credit. I mean, I threw the ball, and everybody else just made a play. It was great.
Don't I have a magnificent neck beard?
Jebediah, go churn the butter.
But with Russell Wilson is just like, the whole God thing speaks volumes, that in his mind, he thinks it's believable that God would use him to teach humanity a lesson.
I mean, yeah, come on. What kind of a freaking complex do you have to even think that? I mean, even if you think it, don't tell anybody. God, I mean,
but you see, here's the thing: the people who legitimately think that way don't have the self-awareness to realize it makes them sound like douchebags by saying it out loud.
And I guarantee you, in his mind, he thought this will just make me seem all the more humble and down to earth and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, dude, you look like a freaking psychopath now.
Which is why I think it would have been hilarious if he was like, yeah, God spoke to me, and then he told me what the hell was up with that play call? You didn't change it up the line? Come on.
But, yeah, I mean, I just think that between that play and there was, like you said, Mike, winning cures a lot, but they were having some problems.
I decided to go to Google and type in Russell Wilson and God and pick up the last few news updates. Okay. Martellus Bennett, defensive end for the Seahawks. I wonder how loud God had to yell for Russell to cure him at the moment of the Super Bowl. Yo, Russell, it's me, God. Can you hear me? Hey, Jesus is on this thing. Come help your pops out, LOL.
I like the Onion's take on it. God, fuck Russell Wilson.
I don't know why he's always claiming that I helped him. I didn't do shit.
We've got an interview of God. God, did you speak to Russell Wilson? No.
Dateline, the heavens. Following the game-ending interception against the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49, God Almighty, creator and supreme ruler of the universe, confirmed Monday that he can't fucking stand Russell Wilson. And that the Seattle Seahawks star quarterback can go fuck himself. I hate Russell Wilson, so fuck him and fuck the Seahawks, said the Heavenly Father. Adding that Jermaine Kearse's incredible catch on Seattle's final drive was indeed a case of divine intervention, but only so Wilson could then throw an interception that cost his team the Super Bowl. I mean, the look on his face right after I made him throw that pick on the goal line was just priceless. He's so fucking annoying. So I wanted to get his hopes up and crush him in front of the whole world.
So great.
Self-righteous little prick.
So great. So good.
I love that guy just going, hey, the look on his face was amazing.
Despite subsequently allowing the Patriots to win their 4th Super Bowl title, God also clarified that Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Robert Kraft are all dirty fucking cheats who will spend an eternity in hell after they die. Oh my God, that is hysterical.
Yeah. So this was, I don't know how I missed this when it happened a month ago. This was the day after Russell Wilson announced or told somebody that he and his girlfriend, former music star Ciara, aren't having sex after God spoke to him. But this is the quote from Russell Wilson on why he's not having sex with his girlfriend. She was on tour. She was traveling. I was looking at her in the mirror. She was in the dressing room getting ready to go before going on stage. And she was sitting there, and God spoke to me and said, I need you to lead her. And I was like, really? And he was like, no, I want you to lead her. So I told her, what would you do if we took all that extra stuff off the table and just did it Jesus' way? And she was relieved.
Probably because she'd have to sleep with him.
So,
I mean, come on, dude.
He sucks. He sucks so much. Not
you want to know what? You want to know
player. He's a decent quarterback, but as a person, Russell Wilson sucks. He sucks.
If you had locker room problems before, now you've spent the entire offseason telling everyone God speaks to you.
And that you're to lead people? I mean, come on. Oh,
you're to lead people, and that God is using you as an example. It's like everyone
the best part is it's not just God told him to lead her, and then Russell Wilson responded, really? And then he said again, no, I want you to lead her. Or no, sorry. And he was like, no, I want you to lead her.
Oh my God. This, like I said, I needed more reasons to hate this guy.
Blue 42 Hut, Russell, throw the X route. Use the Force, Russ.
You must go to the Dagobah system.
Oh my God.
Go to the Texas Rangers system.
God.
Yeah.
I hate this guy so much.
I do too.
Even if I was a Seahawks fan, I think I would hate him. I'd be happy, yes, you've won us games and that's fine, but I hate you.
But yeah, Russell Wilson, wow, dude. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next question. We have like 5 months to
we can beat up on Russell Wilson an awful lot. This is one I stole from the Dan Patrick Show. Team you are most looking forward to seeing play this season. Not besides your own team, obviously.
I'll take Rich Eisen's answer from that same show, the Philadelphia Eagles. Because he said something that, I didn't think about it until he said it, but what Rich Eisen said was, if this team's 1-4, they're a story. If they're 3-3, they're a story. If they're 12-1, they're a story. No matter what happens, good, bad, or indifferent, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have something to talk about. Well, whether it's Tim Tebow or the quarterbacks or Chip Kelly or success or failure or any of it, there's some angle to take with that team no matter what the result is.
Do you guys think 3 years is enough for Chip Kelly? I mean, is it fair or unfair to judge him after 3 seasons?
I still
if he fails this year, would you fire him?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think, no. I wouldn't. Because
he's put together a couple 10-win seasons, right?
He's put together a couple 10-win seasons. And this, from what I can tell, is really the first offseason where he's actually had a chance to build the team he wants to build. It seems like the last couple of years he was just sort of using the pieces he inherited.
And he did pretty well with that, I thought.
And he did pretty well. So I give him a few more years just to see what he can do with his team the way he wants it.
Yeah.
The team I'm most looking forward to seeing besides my own would actually be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Really?
I want to see how Jameis Winston does. Everyone seems to be predicting that this kid is just a disaster waiting to happen, and I want to see how that plays out. I want to see if he actually says, okay, you know what, it's time to grow up, or if he just keeps acting like an idiot.
Mike's going to make fun of us down the road when I say this again, but I think that there's some talent on that team. Now, I'm not going to make any bold predictions like the playoffs or anything like that, but I think that
if they were in contention.
At 2-9, they were only 2 games back.
That's right. If he can play halfway decent, I think that they will be a competitive football team this year.
Well, did you hear the stories about him in training camp? How many interceptions he's throwing in practice?
I did hear that Marcus Mariota hasn't thrown any interceptions in training camp so far, which I think
I know that Jameis Winston's thrown a lot.
Really?
Supposedly.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, if you can't complete passes in practice. I mean, hell, when I was watching Friday Night Lights, Matt Saracen's throwing interceptions during practice, and he's going to get upstaged by Voodoo Tate or whatever the guy's name is.
There's a character named Voodoo Tate.
I think his name was actually Voodoo Menacing Black Guy to Scare the White People was his full name.
Yeah.
But the team I'm most interested in watching this year is the Buffalo Bills.
I thought you were going to see Tennessee Titans.
Them too, actually, yeah. I can't quit on my irrational confidence Titans. I just can't do it. But yeah, and the Falcons, I think, are going to be very interesting too, because I think getting rid of that idiot head coach of theirs might actually help. We'll see.
I'm always interested in the Bears. I don't ever know what to make of that team.
And it's never
Like,
just
every
the
year-
Bears. It's the story of the Bears and their relationship with the community.
Right.
It's kind
Right.
of
Well, they could either be like 4-12, or they could be like 10-6 and make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends on if Jay Cutler's in a good mood or not.
if he gives a shit, or if he just shows up and he's just like, well, fuck everything.
And I'm also interested to see if Eli Manning can bounce back with the Giants.
Yeah.
He's a talented quarterback. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
And he just had a bad year.
I think there's a lot of intriguing teams this year. I think that, like the Falcons with the new coach, because they've had pretty good offense. The defense has been terrible. They're going to be interesting. The Titans, of course, if Mariota is going to be good, who knows? Maybe my irrational confidence finally pays off.
That's the problem. Each year, there's a new reason for you to be irrationally confident.
I can't quit them, man. They're like a drug. They're like that drug that the founders give to Jim Hadar to keep me hooked.
Oh,
Yeah. Nice little
Tetracyl
DS9
Light.
reference there. Yeah, there you
go.
go. Okay, what else did I have here? Of the bad teams last year, who do you think might jump up and surprise everyone?
Bad teams.
Yeah.
Who are we classifying as bad?
Well, like
I
the
guess.
Jaguars, I suppose.
No.
Washington,
No.
Tampa Bay, the Rams. Although the
I
Rams
think-
weren't bad. I think the Rams were another case if they had a little bit of offense to go with Trayvon
Yeah.
Martin before he got killed.
Trayvon, that shooting really derailed the whole season.
Killed their
I
whole damn
think-
season.
I think the Rams would be up there for me. I wouldn't classify them as terrible either. They just had bad quarterback luck.
I'd say the Falcons.
You know who could make an impact? Because I think they might get a little bit better. The Oakland Raiders.
No.
don't know.
I like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
If they get a couple wins under their belt early, watch out.
Yeah. I was talking earlier
They
about
might screw things up for everybody else.
contracting a team on principle. I think you can make a good argument for the Raiders too at this point.
Well, yeah.
Let's see here. The 49ers without Harbaugh. Who was it, Mike? You said that you think they're going to fall right through the floor?
Hot garbage.
I think so too.
Yeah. Everything that I've heard from their new head coach is terrible.
Well, he sounds like an idiot.
He sounds so dumb.
He does.
Like, he doesn't sound like he should be there. Kaepernick, to me, has always been a paper tiger.
Yep.
And the defense has been slipping in recent years. I don't see any reason for that to improve, especially when you have your star linebacker retire in the prime of his career because he doesn't want to get any more concussions.
Oh, that's right. Patrick Willis. Yeah, he stepped down,
Yeah.
didn't he? That's
Yeah,
right.
he's like, you know what? I'm leaving.
No,
Yeah. I'm going to protect my head. I'm going to leave.
I can't blame him. I mean, he made some good money, right?
Also,
Yeah.
the black alternate.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know
Who
what?
thought that was a good idea?
By
And supposedly,
Yorks.
I was reading an article today. You know how they've never gotten the grass really right at the stadium?
Yeah, it's still screwed up.
The grass is still awful. Supposedly, they haven't
How is it
fixed
so? This isn't an old stadium. This is
It's
a new
brand
stadium.
new. It's the newest stadium in the league, and the grass is bad.
Isn't the Super Bowl there this year?
Yeah, yeah.
Might be time to seriously consider putting some field turf in there and being done with this natural grass stuff. They already had to replace it in the first year of the stadium.
They replaced it halfway through the season.
Right, exactly. And now they might have to do it again. It's like, you know what? Maybe it's time to kind of read the writing on the wall.
Or not necessarily do that, but dig deep. Like, dig a big hole where the field is currently. Figure out what the issue is and just redo it.
Just put field turf down and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
players
not
would
as-
always rather have grass.
I would too, but I'm not as big. It's not that big a deal to me like it is in baseball. I can live with field turf.
Well, speaking of the 49ers and their field, to correspond with their black alternate uniforms, they've done up some black end zones.
Oh no.
That looks so bad.
It does.
Because they don't even have black in the regular part of the uniforms anymore.
This whole team is going to garbage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's Tabs.
Zach's Tabs!
Take it away, Maestro.
There's an epidemic going through the Bristol office.
Yes, there is.
Hear about this?
Yes.
ESPN has lice.
God.
as a proactive measure, I'm writing to make sure you are all aware over the past week, several talented makeup artists have reported being exposed to lice. And they've taken some actions to combat the lice.
I love one of the
makeup team are immediately being thoroughly sanitized and disinfected.
I bet you it's Ditka.
Using a sanitation protocol on all instruments. We appreciate your patience as we temporarily close the makeup room in Building 4. Any impacted individuals in the makeup team have checked and treated themselves. The entire team will remain vigilant. Any talent who had their hair styled in the exposed area or was exposed to someone known to have lice has been individually informed.
I love one of the comments said, well, at least Scott Van Pelt doesn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
ESPN has lice.
That's great.
That'll teach him to talk about the NFL 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All right, what's next?
Let's see. Oh, well, this is what I'm talking about before, Greg. Something, it's related to you as it's NASCAR.
All right.
There's an interesting sponsor going on the 26 car.
Yes.
And I don't know how this plays in a predominantly white, predominantly redneck sport like NASCAR tends to be. But the 26 car is sponsored by Straight Outta Compton.
NASCAR is pretty good with its marketing and targeting the right people, so I've got to think that they did this thinking that there's an audience for it. Seriously, I think that it's not just, we stuck our head up our asses and put this on the car. I think they think there's a reason for it.
Like, it's fine. It's ad money as the same as anybody else. It just seems out of place on a NASCAR car.
Definitely.
Is there a big crossover between the NWA crowd and the NASCAR crowd?
I don't expect there is.
I would be surprised if there were.
Although I like this. NWA is now NASCAR with attitude.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, so I watched the trailer to the movie, right?
Sure.
And then they had like a little featurette thing that I watched, and they talked to Ice Cube and they talked to Dr. Dre, but there was no Eazy-E. Now,
he's dead.
I was going to ask, is he not around anymore?
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay, what happened to him?
Shot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's the guy that's walking around carrying the AK-47 in the movie.
Yeah,
Frank.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, that's something they did.
I know.
That's
you guys weren't around. I mean, man, people lost their fucking minds over that group. I mean, it was the end of the world.
Anyway,
people overreacted just a tad to those guys. Okay.
Remember the rivalry that we talked about between UConn and South Florida?
they just declared UCF their rivals.
Yeah, well, the University of Connecticut head coach, Bob Diaco, who, remember, UConn was the one who started this, quote-unquote, rivalry in the first place. So they're doing media days right now, right? So somebody asked him about the civil conflict. It wasn't South Florida, sorry, it was UCF. That was created out of respect for their program and the coaches. The logistics of it were hindsight. I've thought about all that, and we'll call it the conflict. We can capitalize the FL and capitalize the CT.
Wow, that's really witty. This guy is just, as Mike says, doubling down on this, isn't he? He's just not going to just go, hey, you know what? It was a really stupid idea and forget I ever brought it up, which would be the smart thing to do.
This whole thing is ridiculous. He just made up a rivalry and was like,
you're a rival now. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Clearly see this coach did not think this through at all.
Hey, wow. UCF, you're a rival now.
And I like how that whole civil conflict thing was like, we're in the North and they're in the South. It's like the Civil War. Like, that was the extent of it.
My favorite part was like, hey, UConn says you're the rival. They did? We are?
I'm with Mike. I wish UCF had never even so much as acknowledged it. Just like, whatever.
UConn leaves the trophy on the field overnight and nobody picks it up. And then when the maintenance crew comes by to like touch the field up, like, what the fuck is this? And like toss it in a dumpster.
Right, exactly.
We move on to the Olympic Games. We talked about last week, they were going to have to decide on who was going to be the new Olympic city because, well, nobody wants the Olympics anymore.
I'm telling you, man, Dubai's right there. They'll take it.
So the final vote was between Beijing, China, and Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Let's go, Kazakhstan.
Yeah, we really wanted Kazakhstan just to make the ridiculousness of this thing.
I thought you were kidding when you said that. Were you serious? They were
Beijing, China versus Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Weren't they just in Beijing? Or that was the summer, right?
Yeah,
That was the summer in 2008.
It's summer.
But here's the thing. Beijing won by a vote of 44-40, which makes them the first city ever to host the summer and winter.
I'm surprised it was that close.
Right.
Kazakhstan, like, really?
Yeah. All the indoor ice events will take place in Beijing, even though it barely snows in Beijing ever. So the snow events will be held 120 miles away in Zhangjiakou.
So when they have like the shots of Beijing in the Winter Olympics, it's going to look like not
summer
at all.
Well, that's not unlike Sochi, where they had all the ice events.
Yeah, and that was a shit show too.
Having the Olympics there will also makes it 3 consecutive Olympics that will be held in East Asia.
They're the only ones that want it.
Everyone else is like, fuck this noise.
They really should just went to Kazakhstan.
Yeah. 4 votes away, and we could have had the Kazakhstan Olympics.
I'm telling you, Dubai was the perfect choice. I know it's in the desert, but like we talked about, they have the indoor ski slope. It was just a matter of a couple more arenas. They got plenty of money. There you go. Done deal.
Ronda Rousey is going to be the star in her own biopic.
What,
Wow.
the Entourage movie wasn't enough?
Did anybody see the Entourage movie?
I did. I enjoyed it.
Was it all right?
I enjoyed it.
I heard it was so bad that pirates weren't even pirating it.
I heard that too.
Stop. No, it was, did you ever watch Entourage?
Watched every episode of it.
I never watched every episode, but I've seen enough of it to know the show.
It was a hour and a half version of the show.
Okay, so it was basically just like a
2
long
hour,
episode.
however long it was. It was just a movie length Entourage episode, really. If you enjoyed Entourage, you'll enjoy the Entourage movie.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Because I enjoyed Entourage a great deal. I mean, was it great television? I don't know. But it was entertaining.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I don't know if it was.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I mean, you get all the cameos. The storyline's interesting enough. Everybody gets their moment.
I've always thought that Vince was the dumbest actor to ever make it in Hollywood because there's so many stupid things he did where he just let millions of dollars sit on the table, but that's for another show.
Yeah. So what do you think of an athlete playing themselves in their own biopic movie?
I think this happened before. I want to say Jackie Robinson did it.
I don't like it, if only because in terms of historical study or biographical or autobiographical writing, you usually need some distance. Nobody knows how events that happen now are ultimately going to be remembered in the long term. In history, they say that, a president's legacy isn't even up for discussion until at least 30 years after he's left office. And obviously this isn't on the same level, but it's still kind of the same principle. Like, you just don't know how things are going to play out long term, so.
But I don't blame her. I mean, she's got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, this movie's probably going to be like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
if her fighting career's like any.
Well, she is terrifying. Didn't she say that she took a bit longer to beat one opponent because she just liked to make her suffer?
I heard her on the Howard Stern show, and he was asking her, and she said there was this one girl that she fought. I guess she'd fought her a few times. And despite the fact that Ronda Rousey had kicked this girl's ass both times they'd fought, the girl kept running her mouth saying, this time, blah, blah, blah. And she said, so when we got to that fight, she said, I could have taken her out in like 30 seconds, but I dragged it out just to punish her. And I thought, this is one badass chick right here.
Her last fight was 34 seconds.
Yeah.
The one before that was like 12. I don't think she's had a fight longer than a minute in her last 5 fights.
Do you think there's ever going to be a point where she fights a guy?
It's going to happen. There's too much money. There's too much financial potential there.
But no, because she can kick the crap out of girls, but men are just bigger and stronger.
No, that's true. But I'm just saying that eventually someone's going to say, "Hey, we can sell this and make a shit ton of money," and then they just go to her and be like, "Look, you're probably going to lose, but you're going to make a lot of money."
That's the thing. She would have nothing to gain from that besides money.
Well, not only that, but
a lot of money, though.
Do you want to be the guy that beats the shit out of a girl in front of what's going to be a huge audience?
You could find a big enough scumbag in UFC to do it.
That's true.
That wouldn't be hard.
The NHL signed an interesting media deal this week.
Yes, I saw this.
$1.2 billion 6-year deal with Major League Baseball.
So what are the particulars of this?
Well, it's Major League Baseball Advanced Media. And basically what's happening is Major League Baseball's advanced media thing will control the video content of the NHL, its streaming. It will try to improve the in-game apps, like you know the MLB at bat stuff, where it gives you pitch counts and pitch tracker and all that stuff.
I have MLB at bat. Yep.
They're going to try to make an NHL version of that app.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And use the improved technology for like player tracking, and all that sort of stuff that they're trying to do already. They'll also control the NHL network. So the NHL network is moving its studios from Toronto to the MLB network studios in Secaucus, New Jersey.
Uh-oh, how you feel about that, Mike?
Disgraceful.
Well, the problem is NHL network has been garbage. Not garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. They're very good for hockey, but they don't do a lot of original programming. They do a lot of reruns of old stuff just when they don't have anything on. So I think bringing them under the MLB Network umbrella, and you know how good MLB Network is, Greg.
Yes.
On a regular basis. If they can bring that same kind of quality and original programming to the NHL Network, that can be nothing but a good thing. And ultimately, it's giving a lot more money to the NHL, which will in turn raise the salary cap a little bit.
And hopefully maybe keep a team out of Las Vegas.
No, that's what happened.
But yeah, the MLB stuff, I mean, the at-bat app is really good, and they do a really nice job. They finally, I think last year, maybe, I don't remember when it was exactly, but they finally decided to let other people post their stuff on sites where they weren't allowing people to do that. But they do a fabulous job with their online presence with stuff, with their video distribution and all that. So I think it's a great move for the NHL. Great move.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Okie doke. Mike, you guys have a new geek show coming up. Tell us all about it.
Yes. So today at noon Eastern, Blizzard Entertainment from the gaming convention Gamescom in Germany unveiled their newest expansion, World of Warcraft Legion. Jack and I watched the expansion live and provided our thoughts and reactions to it as it happened. So that will be episode 60 of Basically a Geek Show.
All right. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Go to our website, basicallyasportshow.com. Subscribe to our show, the football show, the geek show, and all the other stuff from Basically a Podcast Network via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and the YouTubes.
And if you're looking for us on iTunes, don't look for Basically Sports. For whatever reason, it comes out as the full URL. So you're going to have to type in http://basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Right. Free because.
Or just do http://basicallysports.
Right.
And it should show up.
Yeah. Because.
But you have to type in the full thing.
When way, way back in the very beginning, when Andy set up our iTunes account, that was the way it was put together. We are working to try to correct that to make it a little easier to find. I've already started I guess you would call it a shadow website for us or whatever and all that, but we're working to solve the problem, and as soon as we do, we'll let you know. So
also, if you do subscribe to us on iTunes already, or will find us on iTunes somehow, please review and rate us.
Yes.
That helps for other people that do want to find us. We've never really asked for this before, but I think, if you get the word out, we're not going to hate you for it.
No, and I'm tired of making up reviews and posting them as other people, so somebody else come along and do that.
There are 2 reviews on there. There are 2.
I know.
They're both positive.
I think they're very good too, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both positive reviews.
And if you need to find the iTunes stuff, just find us on Facebook or whatever, and I can send you a link to it if you have trouble finding it. I can get you right there. With that, I guess we're done, so that's all I got.
That's all I got, too.
I'm good.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.